everybody, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a review on a new palette from Estee Lauder. It's called the Goddess Glow. So if you're interested in finding out what I think about this palette, make sure you keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. One of the biggest summer hits, I believe, is the Goddess Glow bronzer from Estee Lauder. I believe that's what it's called. Everyone seems to want to get their hands on it, but unfortunately for me, it is a little bit too dark for my skin tone, so I can't take advantage of it. But what I did see that I really liked was this palette right here, and so I quickly got my hands on it and started playing with it immediately because these colors here are certainly up my alley. I did go to a bunch of Estee counters, and unfortunately they either did not have this palette in stock or were completely sold out. But fortunately enough, I was able to find it on their Canadian website and I ordered it immediately. It arrived in 2 days and then I got to start playing with this beautiful palette. I have never used Estee shadows before, so I wasn't quite sure what the formula would be like, and since I didn't really have a chance to play with this in store, I was really taking a bit of a leap in figuring out whether or not these were going to work for me. And for the most part, I'd say I'm pretty happy with what I got, but I do have a couple of thoughts. Before I dive into my own thoughts, let me give you a couple of logistics when it comes to this particular palette. There are 8 shadows in total in this palette, 2 of which are matte and 6 of which have a pearl finish to them. The total weight of this palette is 10 grams. It was made in the USA and the shelf life is not included on this. I also just checked the box to make sure I didn't miss anything about the shelf life, and unfortunately there's no information on that here, so maybe there's something on the website? I don't know. But in terms of ingredients, there are ultramarines in here, which can cause some irritation to really sensitive eyes. Carmine is used in this palette as well, so unfortunately it is not vegan or cruelty free, and I also noticed that it contains bismuth oxychloride, which could also cause irritation for sensitive eyes. My eyes are on the sensitive side, but since playing with this palette, I have not had any irritation and nothing has really made my eyes feel off or red in any capacity. So I think the ingredients are okay, at least for me. If you are buying this palette for the first time, you may just want to do a couple of patch tests to see if it is going to cause irritation for you, especially if you have very sensitive skin. I am wearing this palette on my eyes today. I did a very simple sort of rose and brown toned look. I did use this dark brown over here smudged into the outer corner of my eye. I used this brown matte over here in the crease just to blow it out a little bit. I also ended up using my Jaclyn Hill and Morphe Vault Collection palette called Ring the Alarm. I used this color here as well as this brown color over here to mix them and put that into my crease as well to have a slightly more lighter toned brown in there, because I felt like just this brown here wasn't doing enough for me. So that's what I had to do, and that's probably one of my biggest complaints with this palette, which I'm gonna get to in a second. These mattes here are okay, but they don't blend out as easily as, let's say, the Jaclyn Hill shadows do. I did have to work with them a little bit longer. I think the pigmentation is there for both of these colors, but they just don't blend out as easily. So definitely pack your patience when you are using these 2 shadows. I did notice that this color in particular did skip a little bit, especially when I was getting to the inner part of my eye. I'm not gonna say I have completely smooth eyelids. I am a little bit older. Wrinkles are starting to set in, as is saggy skin, no matter how much I do to prevent it. So that could have been a factor in it, but I don't normally have that issue when I'm working with other shadows. So these mattes in particular I found did skip a little. So again, that's something else to note about them. The pearl finishes, all of them are beautiful in terms of tone, although I find these two to be very similar, and that is why I mix the two of them them together and put that all over my lid. I did initially apply them dry, and then afterwards I decided to see what it would look like wet and also demonstrate that for you. So I used a little bit of Fix Plus and then put that all over my eyelids, and I wouldn't say there was a drastic difference. They still look the same as when I applied them dry. And finally, for the look today, I did use this really nice pearl color over here on my brow bone as well as in my inner corner, and it certainly has quite a bit of pigment to it, so you definitely want to be light-handed with it. The pearl finishes are a little bit dusty, so when you are digging your brush in there, you are going to get a little bit of kick up, but nothing that is going to cause any major concern. The shadows do feel pretty smooth to the touch, but they are a little bit rougher than some of the more butterier formulas that I have worked with in the past. For example, the Dose of Colors 5-pan eyeshadow palettes. Those are so smooth. I know they're all matte, but with these ones here, I felt like they were a little bit on the grittier side. I promise I can speak without jumbling my words. I didn't have any application issues with any of the pearl colors. It was just the matte colors that were a little bit off for me. In terms of favorite colors, I do love these rose gold and pink colors up here, and I also really love this gold color. It's almost a gold bronze tone, and I think that's why I gravitate a little more towards it. This palette did cost 48 Canadian dollars, so it is a little bit up there in price, and to be honest with you, for $48 I think you can get a better eyeshadow palette than this, and better in terms of something that you can use a little more regularly, something that is going to offer you a few more color options as well as a few more matte colors. And that, to be honest, is one of my biggest gripes with this palette, is that there are only 2 matte shadows. I normally like working with more mattes and having a few more options just so I can really build out my crease, because I'm not always a fan of putting a shimmer shadow into my crease, but I will do it if absolutely necessary. Also, at $48, you're paying $6 per eyeshadow, which again is a little bit up there in price. I would rather pick up a Jaclyn Hill palette like this, or even one of these little City Mini palettes from Maybelline. I think those are absolutely wonderful, and they are priced appropriately at around $10 or $11 depending on where you get them. One of the things that I have done with this particular eyeshadow palette is use one of the shimmer shadows only and just put that all over my lid, and I've blown that out into my crease a little bit. So basically it's just a single color that I will wear and rock that throughout the day. That's not what a lot of people enjoy doing, but that's something that you can actually get away with this particular palette and the colors that are in here. Oh, and I forgot to mention, in terms of staying power, these eyeshadows do last anywhere from 6 to 8 hours on my lids, but with a primer. If I don't wear a primer with these eyeshadows, they actually fade pretty quickly, especially on my oily lids. I was only able to get about 3 hours wear with no primer on, so that's not great. Would I say this is a bad palette? Absolutely not. Is it something that's going to be worth your money? Well, that really depends on you. Are you a collector? Do you want this Goddess Glow Summer 2018 collection? If you do, then sure, go ahead and pick it up. I don't think you'll be disappointed with the colors, but I think there are far better palettes out there that you can spend your money on. So if I were to do all of this all over again and maybe not even have a YouTube channel so I can review this, I'd probably say skip on this palette, buy something else that's a little more affordable, or something else that is going to offer you a better value for your dollars. And that's going to do it for this review. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and also found it helpful. If you did, you know exactly what to do. Give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. You can also connect with me on all of my social media. I am going to make sure to list that for you in the description box below. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope you are having an awesome day no matter where you are in the world. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!